This is the fun part of covering an NFL team. Quite honestly, it's always fun no matter what. Doesn't feel like work at all. But I think the most fun for me personally is at season's end where you start conjuring up all these crazy master plan scenarios for what you think your team can do, almost to the likes of Charlie and Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he looks psychotic as hell, big board behind him, all of the pictures that are tacked on there, thread going from one picture to another. Before Sunday, the Vikings were slotted at pick 12, and with the opportunity to get up to pick 9 ahead of them were Chicago, Atlanta, and Vegas. Well, the Bears and Falcons, they lost their games. The Vegas Raiders, they beat the Denver Broncos, so the Vikings, they move up one spot. They will have the 11th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. What to do? That's the big question. I'll tell you what not to do. Two things. Don't draft the cornerback. I am sick of the Vikings using all these high picks in the secondary, especially when the defensive line is ass. You need to build up the trenches, build from the inside out, opposed to the outside in, because building from the outside in of the defense is saying that we're going to rely on coverage sacks, that getting no pressure on the quarterback. However, option two of what not to do, I don't know if tap dancing or tiptoeing around the quarterback position, the options that the Vikings have. I really haven't been definitive on who I absolutely want as far as realistic options for the Vikings. But I'm going to say it right now. What not to do is go Bo Nix. If I see Bo Nix mock to the Vikings one more time, I don't know what I'm going to do, because the man is just not, it's not about me hating on Bo Nix. It's look at the film. I would draft, I would draft this toilet mug over Bo Nix, because anecdotally speaking, I would say two-thirds of his passing yards at Oregon has been after the catch. The man does nothing but dump offs, check downs, screen passes, high percentage throws. And his receivers are so talented that they turn all of those yards into them doing all of the work instead of Bo Nix throwing them the best opportunities. But the guy that I absolutely want, I'm open to everybody else but Bo Nix, but the guy that I absolutely want is Jayden Daniels. This is the official YouTube channel of the Jayden Daniels to Minnesota movement. Now, today, earlier this morning, Bleacher Report, they put out a mock draft to where the Vikings, they could stand pat at pick 11, and Jayden Daniels is right there. They mocked Jayden Daniels to the Vikings at pick 11. To me, this is the best case scenario. Although I don't believe it's very realistic, I don't think there's any chance in hell he falls that far. But Jayden Daniels, arm strength and accuracy off the charts. All right, fine. What really sticks out to me about this guy, the reigning Heisman winner of this season out of LSU, is his confidence in the 50-50 ball, to trust his receivers to make a play on the ball. And Malik Neighbors certainly helps, but having the confidence to trust his receivers to make a play on the ball, combine that, it's not just confidence, because Nick Mullins, he has all the confidence in the world to chuck the ball down the field, but his ball placement on top of that, to where more often than not, only his receivers can make a play. Combine that with number two, he's a dual threat quarterback. I mean, when he moves around in the pocket, he does a good job of sensing pressure, but when he gets out there in open field, it's almost Lamar Jackson-esque. The man, his speed, game speed, the way he's quick with his feet, the agility that he has, he almost turns into a wide receiver in the open field. It's off to the races. Imagine that type of talent with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. That to me, this is the guy. You want to maximize this offense and have a quarterback that can really blow the top off of opposing defenses? This is the guy. Now, in order for this to work, I don't think you can just sit at 11 and just Jayden Daniels, he falls into your lap. You need to trade up for this guy, but even more so, you need a couple of things to work out in your favor. Number one, you need Chicago to believe in Justin Fields to where they don't draft the quarterback with the first pick overall. If they do, it's game over because Washington at 2, New England at 3, they will certainly go quarterback, which means Daniels will be a top 3 pick in that scenario. Now, say that Chicago, they use their first pick on a guy, say Marvin Harrison Jr., or they trade down. You need them to trade down with Washington or New England only, because if they trade down far enough to another team that needs quarterback, well, there's no difference there between the Bears drafting Caleb Williams or the new team drafting Caleb Williams. Washington and New England, they're going to go QB no matter what. The Vikings, they are out of the Jayden Daniels sweepstakes. But say that Chicago, they trade down only with Washington or New England at pick 2 or 3. In that case, you need to outbid everybody else for pick 4. Trade up to pick 4 with the Arizona Cardinals. Ian Rappaport reported that, according to his sources, the Vikings tried to trade up to land Bryce Young, and Bryce Young only. So clearly they tried to be aggressive last year. You're going to have to keep that same energy this time around. If I had to bet, just off of that information, they're going to try again. And they're going to be aggressive, and I'm just hoping above everything else, all the obstacles that are in their way, that they're going to get it done. They're going to trade up to pick 4, and they are going to draft this guy. And it's going to have to be during the draft. It's going to be a draft day trade in the first round. Jayden Daniels, you don't get this opportunity very often. You're high enough to where it's not going to cost you. Yeah, you're going to have to give up the proverbial farm, but it's not going to be, it's a lot better than, say, you were in the 20s last year. Get it done. Jayden Daniels, that's the guy. Go get him.